And there's a new twist in the Bryan Kohberger murder case. The defense asking for yet another delay in the high-profile trial, which is scheduled to start on August 11th. Kohberger is charged with killing 4 students at the University of Idaho in 2022. He could face the death penalty if convicted, but he continues to maintain his innocence. His attorneys now say a recent Dateline episode may have violated the judge's gag order, potentially tainting the jury pool. The special reportedly included unreleased details about the case. Now, in response, the judge ordering both sides to identify anyone who may have had access to that leaked information. Joining me now, NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Enton. Brian, a pleasure to have you as always. So what does the defense say the Dateline episode revealed that we didn't already know, that the public didn't already know?
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, Henna. I mean, this was a bombshell Dateline episode. Remember, there is this very, very strict gag order on the case. Almost no information has leaked out since the very, very beginning, besides the basics that were in the probable cause. A couple of weeks ago, Dateline has this episode. They've apparently got a law enforcement source. They had access to Bryan Kohberger's cell phone. They had text messages. They had his call log. They had photos out of the cell phone that they showed in the episode. They even had surveillance video from outside the house where the murders happened, showing a car that prosecutors have said is Bryan Kohberger's car going to the house around the time of the murders. So a massive leak. The judge in the case is even now considering appointing a special prosecutor to the case to try to figure out who the leaker is. They've ordered all of the law enforcement involved and the prosecutors and defense to save all of their records and text messages and emails, trying to figure out who may have been communicating with the media. So it's a big deal, and for that reason, the defense is now saying that they want to delay the trial.
Brian, how's prosecution responding to the leak allegation and, of course, now the motion for a delay?
So they haven't responded yet. Basically, the defense filed this motion end of last week. It was about 40 pages long. We're expecting the prosecution to respond this week and then the judge to make a decision. Will the trial still go on August 11th or will they end up pushing it? But this is not good for the prosecution. I mean, you've got someone on the inside, someone in law enforcement who has now leaked out all of this very, very secret information. And the defense is saying, hey, look, we can't go forward with the trial until we know who the leaker is. It's just not fair to make us move forward at this point.
Let's move on to the Karen Reed trial. How has Karen Reed been reacting to her now second trial for murder?
Yeah, so we're right in the middle of this one. Obviously, they were off for the holiday weekend, but the jury will be back tomorrow in the Karen Reed case. This has been very bizarre. Remember, this is the second time that she's been tried. There was a hung jury the first time. They deliberated, I think, for 3 or 4 days, and then they said, look, we can't make a decision about whether she's responsible for killing the police officer, John O'Keefe, you know, with her Lexus SUV. So now she's back on trial again. But what's different this time is she's been, like, sort of speaking out during the trial, which, you know, you rarely see that when you cover a trial where the defendant, like, comes out and talks to the media. She actually said that she thinks it's going great this time. So we'll see. Again, that one's going to pick up again tomorrow.
We will see how that plays out. Another big week in the Diddy trial. We're expecting to hear from his former assistant, Capricorn Clark. A lot of people have been anticipating her testimony. Why is it so important?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is the second or third former assistant of Diddy's that's going to be taking the stand. Remember that Suge Knight claimed that Diddy actually beat Capricorn Clark, like physically beat her, because she allegedly was trying to hide that that Cassie was dating someone else. So all of that's going to come out. Obviously, if you hear about Diddy beating someone, that's not going to be a good look in terms of the jury. You look at the racketeering conspiracy charge you saw there on the top of the graphic there. That's really what a lot of this comes down to. Was there a criminal enterprise happening behind the scenes? That's why they've been interviewing so many of Diddy's business associates, trying to show, look, he had all of these people lined up working for him, working to bring these escorts in as part of this bigger criminal enterprise. That's going to pick back up again tomorrow.
We saw Kid Cudi take the stand last week. He accused Diddy of breaking into his home, torching his car. Could the former assistant help corroborate Diddy's role in all of it, including what happened with Kid Cudi?
Absolutely, and that's one thing that they're going to be looking for. And you mentioned that testimony. I mean, that was explosive, for lack of a better way of putting it, considering that the prosecution is saying that Diddy literally tried to make his car explode, and there were even pictures of the Porsche all burned up and everything. So if she can corroborate that, that'll be a big deal. The jurors, they had a 4-day weekend. There was no court on Friday. Obviously, there was no court today, so they'll be back Tuesday. The judge, I thought it was interesting, the judge on Thursday was very, very clear. They are not to watch any TV. They're not to go on the internet over the weekend. You imagine how big this case is, and it's on the front page of every news website. They're not allowed to look or read any of it, which has got to be difficult. You think about they've been home now for 4 days.
And people are talking about it. Everywhere I go, someone has a comment about this trial. And the others you mentioned, it is a busy week. I'm glad you're keeping us posted on it. Brian Entin, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.